What's up YouTube, this is Joe from The4 Games and I'm going to bring to you guys another deck update to the Cyber Style deck. Again, still post Cyber Style structure deck. I took a lot of your guys' advice and a big thank you to everyone who did comment on the previous one, saying what they would personally change for the deck and things like that. So again, big thank you to anyone who did comment their opinions and their texts and choices and things like that. And so I've been revamping the deck, trying to figure out again another good, strong, consistent build. And I've got this one which implements again your guys' ideas as well as my own, still trying to keep it my personal style while also trying to make it as consistent and competitively relevant as possible. I will give more other text and other choices that you can take out the deck to try and make it even more competitive without personal options involved and included, so stay tuned for those at the end as well. So before I get to this, if you enjoy, give us a like and subscribe down below, ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy a person's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that. And all of that is greatly appreciated, and we thank you guys so much for doing so. So with all that said and done, let's get into this Cyber Style deck update. So I'm trying to not flood the channel with too much on this like I do with DDDs back in the past, but I'm just so in love with this deck. Like, this deck is just constantly on my mind at the moment. It's just such a fun deck, and it probably doesn't help that all my OCG channels are posting all of their Cyber Style deck profiles now, because to them the deck has just been released, so that probably doesn't help either. But starting off, we have the 3 Cyber Dragons. We have the 3 Cyber Dragon Cores. We have the double Hertz and the 1 Nashta to round up my Cyber Dragon lineup. This is what I personally play. I feel like this just feels the most comfortable at the moment. I feel like I don't need too much because you are a one-shot deck. This is how I designed the deck. This is how the combos are mostly done. It's just how Cyber Dragon plays the best. I know there are trap heavy focused variants, but in my personal opinion, this is just how Cyber Dragon plays the best. So I stick to the ratios that gets me that one-shot kill without flooding the rest of the deck with additional copies. So things like Hertz. I know a lot of base Cyber Dragon decks, and if you were to take out, which I'll explain later on, you would probably bump up Hertz to 3, and Nashta you can easily play at 2. But I feel like those are, if you're going to go further into the game, grind games and things like that, then yeah, you bump up those ratios. This ratio is perfect for that one-shot kill. Boom, you finish it off, done. Go into game 2, put your side deck, boom, one-shot kill. You don't need any more because you're not want to doing the combo again. You can do the combo again. You can do the combo again very easily, but the way I built this deck is that I don't want to do the combo again, so if I'm doing the combo again, the deck has not achieved its goal of one-shotting you. And that's the whole point of this deck is for. This is why I built the deck like this, and that's why my Cyber Dragon lineup is like this to all of you out there. But I will explain choice that you can take out to put back in for things like this. So do bear that in mind later down the line. Triple Claw. This is like the best Cyberdark. Next to Cannon and Chimera, because this searches out all of your Cyberdark spells, and the Cyberdark spells are some of your strongest spells in this deck because it adds so much consistency. Horizon and World are just fantastic cards in this deck that really help boost your OTK potential, and Claw gets you to those, which is just fantastic. Double Cannon. I've actually dropped Cannon down to 2, and you'll see why later on. I had to make room for other things. Double Cannon still works perfectly well. If you're going for a more Cyber Dragon variant and less of a Cyber Dark, while still maintaining a Cyberdark engine to help facilitate your power bond searches and things like that, you can easily just drop cannon down to 1. Because you will just search this off your Cyberdark spells, which then you discard this to search Chimera, which then gives you more additional Cyberdark names in your graveyard and things like that of that nature. Yes, so that's easily doable, but I personally like having cannon at more than 1, because if you open up Bowclaw and cannon, that's like a perfect hand. That's just an amazing hand. But yes, so that's why I still play double cannon. Double Chimera. In the more pure variant of Cyber Dragon and less Cyberdark hybrid, you would play Chimera at 1, because you play like triple claw and single Chimera, and then you just search your power bond that way. And to rank the monsters, I am playing one of each of the OG. Now, one of you viewers out there on my previous profile commented saying take these cards out. I understand why, but as I explained in the comment as well, and I explain here, the ideal to me, I want to make Darkness Dragon, because a lot of you just want to go Infinity and Rampage and game, and that's cool. That works. It does work. It works perfectly well. And in a more pure Cyber Dragon variant, yes. But I don't see why I should ignore Cyber Darkness. He is another Omni Negate that the deck can make extremely easily now, thanks to all this new support. And to do that, at bare minimum, you have to play at least one of these. Now, obviously, I'm going for a more fun, pure aspect, while also still maintaining that competitive mindset in mind. And so I play one of each, because if I can make Cyber Dark Dragon, things like that. And these are inherent normal summon beat sticks in this deck, because they just equip summon at 1600 and jump all the way up to 24. So that's why I still maintain one of each. But in a more ideal competitive variant, I will explain this now, because I feel like my spells and traps are perfectly fine as they are. Bear in mind, like droplets and things like that I cannot afford. I would take out one of each, 1 keel, 1 horn, and I would bump up your Hertz to 3 and Nashta to 2. That's what I would do if I were to try and make this even more competitively focused. You may think that that's not a big change, but by doing that, you improve your Cyber Dragon consistency, so you can still inherently just play pure Cyber Dragon by that ratios. It means that your grind game is a lot more active, because you have that Nash, the second Nasher for the grinding game. That third Hertz helps you build the recovery back and things of that nature. And then you've reduced the amount of bricks. To me personally, these aren't bricks in this particular deck. But you reduce the amount of these, so that way, but you have enough copies meaning the one extra name, so that when you do your Cyber Dark combos, you can easily get that Cyber Darkness out for another heavy attack beat stick of an Omni Negate. So that's the bare minimum. Why I pick Edge? This is because he's arguably the best of the 3, because you can just normal summon him, worst case scenario, and attack directly for half damage. So he's arguably the best. If you feel like you face a lot of defensive decks, Horn would be your next best, because he does piercing. Yeah, so that's what I would do if I were to make this even less of a fun Zane Truesdale Hellkaiser aspect of playing one of each. I would drop these two out completely and bump up Hertz to 3, Nash to 2. And moving on, we have the machine duplication. I know I had a feeling that the moment I take this card out the deck, everyone's just going to hate it. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy, stupid, and things like that of that nature. But yeah, no. I still stand by that you can play this deck without machine dupe. And a part of me still thinks that arguably dropping this out, you can then play things like Forbidden Droplets, more meta relevant staple cards that you have, like Triple Tactics Talents and things of that nature. Drop the 2 Cyber Dragons and drop Cyber Dragon to 1, and then put in things like Galaxy Soldier to allow you to go into Infinity Nova relatively easy. but I do understand why this is good in testing. This card is phenomenal. The thing is with Machine Loop, it makes your good hands amazing, and it makes your bad hands okay. So like, that's the only thing that is good just with Machine Loop, because you rarely have a moment where you can not resolve Machine Loop. So it's not really that much of a brick, to be honest. This testing with hands, I've opened up a core and double Machine Loop. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, super combo then. And then like spare copies just dump food for Chimera. So Machine Loop's back in the deck. I am enjoying it. I've never disliked it. I just thought, there's some other things I wanted to try out, and Machine Loop is just that first thing that when I look at this deck, it's the first thing I cut because the deck can play without it. It just makes the deck like phenomenal if you can fit it in and resolve it. So yeah, Machine Loop's back in the deck, so I hope you guys are happy with that one. Triple Cyber Emergency, it surges you core, and that's just what you do it for. Double Horizon and the One World to like the Cyberdark spell package. I dropped Horizon from 3 to 2 because I wanted to fit something else in later on. As you'll see, 2 is just fine. You search this off your core, and that's just literally it, and you search it off claw as well. You have 6 monsters that search this spell, as well as 3 spells to search one of those monsters that search the spell. So you have 9 ways to get into one of these 2 cards. So you're never not seeing these cards. Like, you're just never not seeing them. So arguably you could even drop Horizon to 1, you know, perfectly honest. Then you could put in like your other personal attacks and other meta relevant cards. But yeah, so like this is what I've done. If I were, I'd probably like drop Horizon to 1 and then drop something else and put in like 2 triple tactic silence and things like that, just to give the deck a bit more of a reactive approach to things like hand traps and things like that. Also, you can put in things like Gamma package. Like there's other things that you can cut this deck out for Gamma package. But this is like, if you're going for like bare bones, I want to make the Hellkaiser deck and go take it to my locals once the structure deck drops. This is what I'd probably advise you play. Like, ignore the last one, like, or you don't ignore the last one. This one is just overall what I'm really enjoying at the moment. I really can't see myself changing this variant until the structure deck drops, and in that way I've got all the new cards in my hand. I'm toying around with them a lot more and things of that nature. And so yeah, this is what I'm really enjoying at the moment. And to round up the last of the searcher spells, we have the 1 Cyber Repair Plant. Like, it's just an always good card at 1. For the fusion cards, we're playing the double Power Bond, and I bumped Overload to 2. I dropped Cyberload, I dropped Cyberdark Impact. I dropped those cards because Cyberdark Impact unfortunately never came up, just never comes up. I never ever made OG Cyberdark as much as I wish I could. In the more pure variant, you definitely would play Cyberdark Impact, at least as a one-off. But in this variant, it's just like you'd be better off playing the second Overload Fusions. Overload Fusion makes the exact same thing that Cyberdark Impact would do, but it can also make other things. And you're always fusing from your graveyard with Impact. Like, you're never really ever fusing from hand. If you're fusing from hand, you might as well just get Chimera out and use Power Bond to do it. So thanks to Chimera, Impact has just, like, Power Bond has just become Impact thanks to Chimera. Like, it's just literally what it does now. So I cut Cyberdark Impact out completely, and then I dropped Cyberload Fusion. This was, funny enough, my previous deck, and all these decks so far have been 41 card decks. So I just dropped the card out completely, made this back into a 40 card deck. And then I put in the second Overload Fusion because I'd rather see this. Like, this just really extends your plays. Gets that second fusion out, so you're ending on like 2 multi-attacker rampages, or like a Cyber Twinner rampage, or for fun, a Cyber End with Power Bonded and a rampage with the Overload. Like, Overload is just literally that card that helps you in the grind games just on its own if you can get to it. and thanks to Chimera Power Bond's also the same aspect as well. So these are the 4 fusion cards I play, and I don't see myself dropping them down anytime soon. To run up the spells, we're playing the 1 Cyber system. This can be the new spell if you really want to. I just feel like I'd resolve this a lot more than the new one, which brings out fusions. I'm still playing the 1 Regeki. Dark Holes are out, but Regeki I still feel like it's just a nice wet card to bait out in the game blowout. There was one comment was saying like, do I just like laugh at Cyber Eltonen? You can play Cyber Eltonen. Eltonen will always be in my side deck. If I took this to like a locals, I'll always put Eltonen in the side, like a 1-of copy. Just because yeah, he is that searchable board wipe. But like, as I mentioned in the comments, Elton takes some form, even though this deck does it so easily, it still takes some form of build up to resolve an Eltonen. Whereas Regeki is just a 1 card, either you bait the negate or you blow up the board. Like, this is literally what thing like Regeki does. So if you don't want to play Regeki, cool, take it out, put the Eltonen in, or put something else in, like a Harvey's Feather Duster, something of that nature, anything else. But I personally just like Regeki at the moment, and I'm just enjoying it. I also play Call by Grave because, you know, hand traps. Moving on to traps. Yes, traps plural. There's multiple. We have the 1 Overflow and the triple Imperm. Yeah, I finally put Imperm in the deck. I took it out of my Ignisters. Put something else in for Ignisters. That just overall works better for that deck. Imperm just works perfectly for this deck. Not just because Infinity's on the card art. Imperm just does a lot for the deck in terms of like going second. It's a really good card to go second with, because there'll always be some form of monster negations unless you're up against like the truly heavy back row deck. But then yeah, so Imperm just really helps you with those go second plays, because you will have hands where you have like a core and double Imperm. You're like, cool, Imperm. No, negate something or bait out something. Like, okay, cool. Second Imperm, and just do the same thing again. And you're like, cool. Now core is just free to go live, and then just like, because literally core and a spell is OTK. Like literally him on his own. I'll probably show that at the end of the video just because why not? The video is long enough already. Show you like the core plus any spell is like 1 card OTK. It's just like nuts. Thanks to this new support. Yeah, there's that. Moving on to the extra deck now, we have the 1 Cyberdark Dragon, 1 Cyberdarkness, 1 Cyberdark End. For your Cyberdark fusions, like these are bare minimum that you need to play. Arguably you can just take these, like I'd probably still keep the Cyberdark Dragon because you can ditch it off Horizon, which then gives you another material for your Cyberdarkness. I'd still at least play this. You don't have to play Cyberdark End. I rarely go into it now because as amazingly cool as he is, the best way you're making this is with Darkness. And then I'd rather, by that point, I'd rather keep the Darkness, because you'll have a 6k Darkness Dragon who's an Omni Negate, as opposed to a 5k big towers. Like, you can do it. Like, there's the arguments for both, to be honest. A 5k towers is hard to get over for people. And then Darkness is just like, again, an Omni Negate. Who would then be at 4,000 if you use the Omni Negate, because you make this off a power 1, so he's at base alone 4,000, and then he equips the Cyber End Dragon, jumping away to 8,000. So like, that's pretty good. But yeah, you play the 1 Cyber End Dragon. In testing, I make this a lot because 8k backed up with a Rampage and Mega Fleet and Sega, like you're probably gaming from there. 1 Eternity. Don't have to play Eternity. I like to play the Eternity because you can ditch it off Horizon, which then makes your fusion that turn pretty much unstoppable. The 1 Twin Dragon, because it's an easy OTK to make. And then double Rampage and the 1 Mega Fleet. I play the Fortress in the side deck because he is deck focused, like matchup focused, whereas Mega Fleet is pretty much always live. Moving on to Xyz, 1 Nova, 1 Infinity, and I've actually put in now Raiders Knight and Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon as a rank 4 package to help go for game. Because this deck can make rank 4s pretty easily now thanks to the Cyberdarks and Cyberdark World. You can make rank 4s very easily in this deck, so being able to make a Raiders Knight and then jump straight into Arc Rebellion for hopefully game. It's just another way to OTK your opponent without relying on your fusion summons. I just played 2 links in the forms of Predator Anaconda and Cyber Dragon Seeger. So that's it for the deck profile. I will quickly just run over the 1 card OTK with core and just any spell or trap in your hand, literally anything. Like I'll even put Imperm in there just to show you. So there's literally anything that you can discard as a spell trap. So core, you normal summon, core such as world. This is why people say, and I arguably agree, that world is like the better searcher spell that we got out of the structure deck. You play world searches you your Chimera, and then it gives you an additional normal summon that turn. So you normal summon your Chimera. Chimera activates to ditch the spell or trap in your hand to then add Power Bond. You then link these two into Cyber Dragon Seeger, and then you play your Power Bond to send the Seeger and banish the core, and then you make Rampage with 4,200 attack. He pops 2 cards, and then you send 2 machines from Cyber Dragon machines from your deck to go. This is when you send Hertz and another core, and then Hertz activates and adds core to hand. And now you can attack 3 times with 4,200, so that is over 12,000 damage just from 2 cards, a core and any spell or trap, and then you get back the core. So if you somehow did not kill them that turn, you have a core for backup, and core is just literally a recovery play on his own in this deck now, which is just absolutely insane. But that, guys, is the deck profile and very mini combo at the end for easy 1 card OTK, 1.5 OTK. So hope you all enjoyed it. Again, big thanks to everyone who commented in the last one, and I hope to see more comments in this one. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Hail Kaiser Ryu, all hail him, and till next time, as always, happy dueling.